right. We are back 2:00 in Lancaster in the Gardener's Mattress and More podcast studio, broadcasting Lancaster Connects to you live every Monday at 2:00. Happy to be here. Did you have a nice weekend, Ben?
I did. It was a beautiful, I think every weekend in October so far has been just gorgeous. So we did a little hike on Sunday afternoon. Actually did a college tour with Amelia on Saturday morning. I know you went away and had some outdoorsy time.
Yep.
It's just like the joke in Pennsylvania around here sometimes is like you get a week of spring and a week of fall, right? It goes right from winter to summer or summer to winter. But man, it's been like the most perfect fall I think I can remember.
Yep. If you're a Friday Night Lights fan, participant, observer, watcher,
can you be a football watcher?
You can be a football watcher. Yeah, sure. You've had just beautiful weather. Like I was talking with my wife about that. Like every football game for our son has just been really nice. So let's hope it continues through playoff time. And that's that.
Are you one of these people that's hoping for a big winter, like a big snow winter?
I like snow.
I don't mind it either.
Yeah. I just want it to happen where it doesn't affect business here at the store.
100%. It's like,
happen and go quick.
Right. A big snow happen over a 2-day period, and then you get back to normal.
Yeah. 6 weeks cumulative store closure or effect. The one winter we had, not so good.
Yeah, that's
not so bueno for Lancaster Connects and the Gardener's studio and everything that has to happen to make the show happen.
That's true. That's true.
Some white fluffy stuff is good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah.
But you know what else I realized as we got fall leaves turning, temperature getting colder, a little bit of frost this morning. This is the last show of the year on daylight savings time.
Oh my gosh, is that this weekend?
That's the second. So when we are live next week on the 3rd, we'll be.
I did not know that.
We'll have warped through the times by turning back the clock.
I'm glad you said something. I mean, I'm sure I would have figured it out eventually.
Yeah. Hey, stay by your microphone, man. My goodness, we have to.
I was just blown away by the time change.
Educate this guy on what to do every week.
Yep.
But we'll be turning back the clock. And maybe we'll turn back Ben's chair and strap him.
Yeah, seriously, like put a belt around me or something.
Yeah.
Seat belt. Strap me in.
Like a kiddie belt on the Hershey roller coasters. Keep you strapped into your podcast chair and microphone.
Might help.
All right. Well,
what's John's saying here?
What's happening now?
John, our buddy John Arisman.
Mr. Lancaster, John Arisman. Yeah, we're huge fans of Waking Up Happy. So I'm going to talk about that in my Sleep Better tip later. But we've been starting off the shows with a mattress buying tip. And so to help you when you're thinking about investing in a new mattress, and we would hope that's here at Gardener's Mattress and More, which, by the way, we have our 35th anniversary savings. That's going to wrap up. And, thankfully, daylight savings time, I guess, doesn't affect the sales dates, although it just affects when you get in and how much sunlight you have.
True.
But our sale wraps up on the 2nd as well. So Sunday, November 2nd will be the end of our anniversary savings for our 35th year celebration. So this week, great week to shop. But the tip that I have for you is consider what you have experienced, both positive and negative, what you love about your current mattress, but that has waned over the years. So maybe you love something when you first got it, but that love affair with it has turned cold and you're looking for a new partner in your mattress to support that great sleep. Or you go on a cruise or you stay in a hotel and you really love what you're sleeping on. Think about that and bring that to us and discuss it with our team and what you like, what you don't like, and really get focused in on what your body enjoys and doesn't. And that will help frame and find a better fit. So be engaged in your mattress buying more so than just the price, more so than just the size. Tune into what your body likes. And that's my mattress tip for this week for you.
Yeah, we see that all the time. People go away and then they sleep so much better away. They get home and they're like, oh, this mattress sucks. I need a new bed.
Yeah.
See that all the time.
Unless you're like me at my buddy's cabin and then the mattresses are all pretty rough.
Yeah. And cabin mattresses are.
And the only thing that helps is the amount of bourbon, but that's not good either. And so I think the deal I'm going to strike is like, hey, I'll bring you a new mattress, but it's my mattress when I'm there. I lay claim to it.
Now, how many mattresses are in the
There's like 6 in the bunkhouse area. Yeah. So well, I'd have to lay claim to the one I donate, I guess.
Yeah.
It's mine.
Yeah. I think that's a doable deal.
I think it's a deal.
Feels like they would allow that.
So anyway. Well, you want to introduce your guest because you're really connected to our guests, like so neighbors and friends.
Today's guest is the Literacy Council of Lancaster, Lebanon, and we've got 2 guests that represent that great nonprofit. We've got Cheryl, and we've got my neighbor, Mr. Bill Morgan, who is a board member of, again, Literacy Council of Lancaster and Lebanon. Cheryl and Bill, welcome to Lancaster Connects.
Thank you.
We're glad to be here.
Yeah. Bill, you've been talking to me about this show for the last handful of months. Have to get on. I'm glad we were able to get this set up. And we're excited to learn more about what the Literacy Council of Lancaster, Lebanon does. So I guess we're just going to jump right in. Cheryl, you're the executive director. You know this program inside and out. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what the Literacy Council of Lancaster, Lebanon is, maybe how it began and what you do there.
Sure. Thanks, Ben. Yeah. So in the early 1980s, our partner and a well-known program in the Lancaster community is Lancaster Lebanon IU13. And they were providing a GED program, which is a high school equivalency test that people can take in Pennsylvania to get a high school diploma. And they were recognizing that there was a growing challenge in their program with people coming in who were struggling with very basic literacy skills. They were struggling with reading and very beginning level math skills. And at that time, there was a gal working at the IU named Linda Cullen, who was pretty well known in the literacy community at that time. And she was hired to develop a program to support about 600 refugees across 23 counties in Pennsylvania, many of whom needed to learn English. And back then, Lancaster and Lebanon counties didn't really have a Literacy Volunteers of America program. Nothing was really available at the time. So to address both skills gaps that low-level people had who were in these like high school equivalency programs and to help people learn English, IU13 helps support the creation of an LVA, a Literacy Volunteers of America program right here in Lancaster and Lebanon counties. And that really marked the birth of the Literacy Council. And then 40 years ago, we just celebrated our 40th birthday on May 23rd. The Literacy Council became a 501c3. So we incorporated and became our own nonprofit organization. And today, our mission of success through lifelong learning and learning for life really does guide everything that we do. We have 3 strategic pillars to really help our students, become independent, to thrive as adults in our community. And those are career mobility, digital excellence, and access, opportunity, and belonging for everyone in our community. And a few years ago, we built our literacy and learning success centers, which is the public-facing part and the instructional program that we provide in Lancaster and Lebanon counties. So while we have grown a whole lot over the years, we do remain a boutique kind of an organization that can meet people where they are and help design a personalized and individualized program to meet their needs and help them achieve their goals.
That's great. That's great. We're going to dig into more about the programs and the impact that you have. I'm curious, how did you become involved, and when did you become involved?
Yeah, so I started my career out in social work, and I was working, in a clinical environment. And when I became a mother at 30, I realized that I didn't want to work that kind of a job with that kind of a demand and be gone so much from home. So I was home with my new baby, and about a year into that, I was seeking some volunteer work and found IU13 as like offering to volunteer, and they gave me a job teaching GED classes at the VOTEC in my neighborhood. And so I fell in love with this work. I fell in love with adult literacy, and I spent, quite a few years at IU13. And then when the former executive director of the Literacy Council retired, I was approached and asked if I would consider stepping in and taking over. And I have never regretted a single day here.
That's awesome. And yeah, Bill, you're on the screen here. You're a board member on the Literacy Council of Lancaster, Lebanon. How did you become involved, and when did you become involved?
So one of our customers is a board member, and I don't even know what we were talking about, but we started talking about some of his interests, some of the things we do outside of work. And he started talking about literacy and how, not just literacy, but adult learning, and how it's had such a huge impact on his life. And I started talking about some of the passions I had in assisting people, especially some of the interests I had was people getting out of prison, and the tough challenge it is to get back into society, and the amount of education levels are so severely limited for those who go into prison and then come out. And then we just got into this whole adult learning, and the amount of people in Lancaster, Lebanon, who clearly are illiterate in reading or mathematical skills, which Cheryl will get into, but the literacy rates are so significant. And actually, when they were scrolling through the website there, they would start hitting percentages of 21, 22%. And it just drives a passion. It makes I'm president of a company where I have what's construction. So construction, you generally don't think of the most educated people in construction. And most of my people are very educated. But now, coming into this, you realize what an impact it is if they didn't have the math skills and the communication skills that we require. And again, we're construction, not even to mention some of the other industries that require this. So that's how I got involved.
Yeah, and how long ago was that?
Oh, just a little over a year and a half.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm a newbie.
Yeah, awesome.
So Cheryl, I think we touched on a couple of the common challenges, but let's just get that out there so people can hear and understand what are those common challenges that you see among students or adults who come to you for the help and the services you provide.
Yeah, I mean, they face so many challenges. The one thing that has recently kind of emerged for some of our students is they were hired in their jobs without a high school diploma, and they've been told that they need to get a high school diploma. So that credential is a definitely a challenge for people, and it's harder to get jobs today if you don't have that high school credential. Learning confidence and self-esteem. If you didn't make it through school for whatever reason, you're really probably struggling with that confidence. And I love when my students, they say, like, you believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself. And that's, a big part of what we really try to, empowerment is really the thing here for people to, build those skills so they're empowered to continue their learning. Another thing that we, tend to see is like undiagnosed learning disabilities or learning conditions that have impacted them their whole lives and they've never discovered it or understood it before. For some, it's, limited access to resources, like they don't have computers at home, or they don't have the internet, or they don't have the skills to use those computers. For many of our students, they come to us to learn English. They come here from other countries as immigrants or refugees. And so limited English proficiency is a challenge. And another thing that can really help people not be able to move forward on a career path or even getting a first job is lack of goal clarity, like just not really understanding, well, what do I want to do and how do I make that happen? So, that's a big part of what we do. Time constraints. Most of our students work, they have jobs and they have families. So, they're trying to fit in, school while they're raising children and going to work.
So let's talk about how the literacy and learning success centers solve those challenges. Let's kind of dig into the programs and services that you offer. Cheryl, go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. So, one of the foundational programs that we offer is those basic academic skills, reading, numeracy, those kind of skill building things, language skills for people learning English. High school equivalency preparation, as I said before, that's a really important thing in the community. And, a lot of people that come to us for a GED preparation program really need help. They really need a lot of remedial support. Another thing that we offer is career awareness and career exploration. And we try to embed that for every one of our students that has a career goal or wants to change jobs. We also work directly with employers by providing workplace education programs at work for folks. So we've had companies that have had people that were struggling with some skills, and that allowed them to remove that barrier of having to go to a program outside of work. Digital literacy is one of our newer programs that we started back in 2020. And we have workshops for people to help them build digital skills and digital competence. And then I think one of our most unique programs that we offer is called our International Healthcare Professionals Program. And that's a program where internationally trained physicians who come here, either as refugees or immigrants, and want to reclaim their careers can come to us, and we can help them, guide them on a career path that's accessible and workable for them. So we have, hundreds of people living in the community that are trained physicians, but can't work as doctors in the US until they are licensed. And that is a really heavy lift for any, internationally trained physician. So we've had 8 people in our program who are now in a residency, one who recently graduated. And we've had 36 internationally trained physicians become BSRNs. So now they are working as bilingual nurses right here in our community. We've had others who are now going into the next phase of that, which is a certified nurse practitioner. And then for others who are kind of newer in the program, they're building stackable credentials through like some of the allied healthcare field careers like phlebotomy. And some are also working to become certified medical interpreters. So I'm really proud of that program. And we've partnered with Dr. Daniel Weber, who has really been he's the founder of the program, and he has really been our expert in what it takes for someone to reclaim a career in medicine in the U.S.
Just a quick follow-up question. How does somebody find out about the Literacy Council of Lancaster, Lebanon? How does somebody get involved?
Yeah. So most of our students find out about us through other students. Like word of mouth is like 85% of the people who come to us tell they found us through a friend or a family member. But we do have a website, as you saw a little bit of that. And we maintain a social media presence. And we really work hard to connect with other programs in the community. We really try to get out there to our nonprofit partners, our workforce, partners. We are, part of the Lancaster Career Link. So we work really closely with a lot of people in the community to make sure that they know we're here. And if they're working with folks who are struggling with basic education skills, that they can refer them to us.
That's great.
Yeah, very good. And for anybody that's catching this show and wants to connect to the great work that Cheryl is leading and that Bill is supporting, all the links for the Literacy and Learning Success Centers are in the show notes with this episode. So if you're picking it up on YouTube, look down in the description. If you're watching it here on Facebook, it'll be with the post. If you're on LinkedIn, a wall? Is that what LinkedIn is called? I just completely drew a blank there. Anyway.
Sounds right.
Yeah, maybe, Cheryl, I need to come back and do some learning with you in that digital excellence. Sometimes I'm on the digital excellence struggle bus. Anyhow, so I would think helping medical professionals reclaim their licensure and status here is a pretty big story of transformation. But are there any others that stand out for you that really just make it so easy to get up in the morning? You say you're very committed to this work that comes through the screen, comes through the sound for sure. But what are those stories of transformation and success that just really get you going and make you so proud of this work?
It's really hard to come up with a story to share, but I think the one that tugs at my heartstrings probably more than many of the others is a few years ago, we were partnering with a homeless shelter in the Elizabethtown area. And they had asked us to provide HSE class, a high school equivalency class for folks who were in the shelter. And it was a small little class. And this young man, I mean, he was not even 18 years old, was living in this homeless shelter. And, his story that he was willing to share was that he was living in a really difficult home. It was really chaotic. And ultimately, his father ended up leaving his mother, and his mother said, "You're going to have to fend for yourself because I can't take care of you anymore." So he found himself homeless, and he was, staying with friends as long as their parents would allow it to happen. And then at some point, he ended up on the street and found his way into this homeless shelter. And, he said, "Look, I just want to get my high school diploma so that I can go into the Army because I don't know what else I'm going to do." And it turned out that he was an incredibly bright young man who certainly had a lot of potential. And he passed the GED exams like in record time. I mean, he burned through his preparation, passed all the tests. He had to wait till his 18th birthday to get that high school diploma. But I don't know if when you go into the Army, you have to take the ASVABs and you have to get a certain score. And if you have a GED diploma, there's a couple more barriers for you. It's a little tougher to get in. But his score on the ASVAB really took away some of those barriers for him. And he was able to go into the Army, and it was such a good opportunity for him because he had, security, he had stability, he had a goal, and then he had access to all of the supports that were available to him through ongoing education and training. So I think there's a lot of people like him in our community, and I feel really good about our, work and our ability to help people empower themselves, through education and learning.
Yeah. Yeah. I think folks listening and watching should maybe rewind the tape there. The tape, if it's digital tape. There's no such thing as tape anymore, but use your rewind button. Go back a couple minutes there and hear E-Town, homeless shelter. And that phrase doesn't really compute in most people's minds. I don't think. You don't think of homelessness in Elizabethtown. You don't think of a young man under 18 as needing services, needing help and support. And it's easy to get into our day-to-day life. And I'm not saying this to admonish anybody, but it's really easy to just look by these things. And I was reminded of this Friday night, senior night for my son's football team. Sure enough, one of his teammates is out there by himself. Now, thankfully, our parent group's pretty tight knit and lifted this young man up. And, mom has passed away earlier this year. And at present, dad and son aren't talking. And so there's son walking alone on senior night. And I'm not trying to equate these two stories that Cheryl shared in this one, but to me, that's how it begins to happen. That's how that's how our neighbors, that's how our friends start to fall off, as these little kind of like death by thousand cuts, so to say. And if we don't watch for our neighbor, for our friends, that's how homeless need in Elizabethtown props up. And there's been great people who've come through Elizabethtown on our show serving Elizabethtown with a lot of supports and services. And here's Cheryl and her work supporting this young man. So I would just urge everybody to really pay attention. And it's easy. I know we all have our lives to live, but it's easy to let that fall by the wayside. When a moment like this, you pick up the show, comes along, really ask yourself, what could I do in my neighborhood to help? What could I do to serve? Could I share this show?
If I could piggyback on that, I'm just going to give a personal story why I'm one of the reasons I do what I do, other than what our company does. My brother had learning disabilities. He was dyslexic, and from an early age, he was recognized with almost genius level IQ. You know how they rate kids when they're in elementary school very early on, except he couldn't read. And he'd always figure out ways to get around it and fudge things. But eventually he got stuck with the other kids that had issues, whether they had broken families or they had learning disabilities or whatever it was. They became the bad kids, and they get a stigma. And then other parents, like, he's one of the bad kids, or the other kids see them as bad kids. So my brother ended up just not finishing high school till much later, got his GED much later, got in and out of trouble, was in jail, and eventually he found his way out, but he didn't have a support network, and he just saw himself as stupid. And he wasn't. He was a genius level IQ, but he couldn't read. And eventually he started his own business and became successful on his own. But it took years. And this happens over and over and over again in every school. It doesn't matter if you're Manheim Township, Hempfield, or Columbia, McCaskey, Reading. Those kids are everywhere, and they're bright. As Cheryl was talking about, this one kid that she was describing, high intellect, poor situation, and man, we help. That's what's so great about this. We help so many people, and some of them come from families that are broken, that causes them to be broken, and this allows them to break that chain, because this is generational. This isn't sometimes just they're not the first kid or first person in their lineage who has a learning disability or can't read or has computer skills. It's because a lot of times nobody read to them when they were little. It's some of that. They just didn't have it. I'm sure your kids are blessed that you probably read to them as they were little kids. They saw books. They learned the letters, but not everybody has that. They're struggling as kids. And these are the kids. And that's why I'm involved, because Cheryl and her group has this passion to help these kids. And it's just a great success story. So I just wanted to piggyback what you were saying about E-Town. Well, it happens everywhere.
Yeah. Yep.
And the numbers are staggering.
Yeah. No, thanks for sharing, Bill. And happy for your brother's success now today. That's great. That's really great.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bill, can you talk a little bit about, talking about improving literacy, improving all of the areas of life for the clients that use the services, but also building, stronger families and a stronger Lancaster community. Can you talk a little bit about what improving literacy can do from those standpoints?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'll talk about here at Capital Coating. So we're construction. I'm not going to do a commercial about Capital Coating, but we really care about our employees. It's part of our mission to let employees. Oh, thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Chris is promoting.
We're commercial industrial. We're not residential. But we really do have a passion to, and we tell it to our guys, we want you to grow. We want you to become the best you can be. And the CEO uses the word, he's here to make sure people thrive. Now, many of them never had anybody who ever wanted to see them thrive. So how do we do that? And we do have a few foreign nationals. We do have some who come from other countries, but we have many who just came from broken homes. We had one guy, we didn't even know it at the time, was living in his car to come to work every day. He lived in his car. And we changed that right away as soon as we heard about it. But these are the situations that employers are facing to get good workers. Mm. And so what can I do? So first, if we recognize there seems to be some challenges in reading or writing, we'll address that. If they need their GED, we'll help support that. If they need further education, they're new to the country, and they have of course, they have their legal paperwork to work here, but they may still have an English language skill. So we'll pay for that kind of training and education to let them have whatever it takes to get them to that point. Legal paperwork. A lot of them don't understand the legal terms that are required to just get some kind of legal status here in the U.S. So we'll introduce them to groups like Church World Services or to the Literacy Council or to others that are out there that can help them. So we're here to help people. And I think most employers in the county that I talk to are the same way. They just don't know how to do it or where to go. So this is where we do outreach with those other organizations, or we're trying to be better at it, I should say, trying to work with those organizations. But there's a distribution center around the corner from us. Here, we're out in the Gap area, huge distribution center. And from what I understand, Cheryl, right, they use a ton of their people have used our resources, if I'm not correct.
Yes.
So companies can send their people to us if they are doing different programs. They need their people to be able to read charts, understand numbers, just do the basics to get by. For instance, in our construction documents, because we're in commercial construction, they have to understand safety regulations. They have to be able to do daily checks on measure things on a daily basis. They have to be able to record those things. They have to use technology, taking photos and such. Some of that comes naturally, but even in the most basic of industries, driving a forklift, there are so many things they have to know. Mm-hmm. So we do provide those basic skills. And people don't think about how important those basic skills are just to get by in life.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, your investment in them as a benefit for working there makes them probably more efficient employees, and having more of an impact in their home family and in their community. I love that.
Well, they can take more pride in themselves, and they can help their own children. It really is cool. And of course, the picnics and everything that everybody does, but people are proud to work here because they become better people. Mm-hmm. And we take an interest in them. Again, I don't want to make this a commercial about us, but I know Lancaster County is that way. We are a melting pot of individuals from all over, and Lancaster County has always been that way. And the companies that represent the county, they want those same things for their people. And it's, that's what we do.
That's awesome, Bill.
Bill, I like how you said your CEO is there to see everybody there thrive. I like that. So, a little tweak on the question we have here, taking that mantra of seeing everybody thrive. Obviously, literacy is the foundation of that because, as you said, they have to read MSDS sheets for your coatings, right?
Yes, safety. Correct. Chemical specifications.
Are you impressed that I know MSDS sheets?
Yeah, I was really impressed by that. I didn't even think of that one.
Pretty big stuff from the mattress guy, huh? No. But what would be your challenge to other employers channeling your CEO about seeing his people thrive so that literacy becomes that foundation for stronger families at home? What would be your challenge to other employers?
Oh, man. So we had a guy in here one time filling out an application, and I could see he was struggling with filling in the blank. And without embarrassing him, I asked our HR person, hey, he is clearly struggling with either understanding the basic boxes on the application or writing. And I didn't know what it was. So I asked her to work with him and please just stand by and say, hey, for this, I need you to do this. This, I need you to do this. And that could have been they couldn't read. It could have been they see the letters different and can't understand what they're doing. It could have been they just don't understand what the words mean. But this happens all the time. And we lose so many, not us, but I mean, in general, to answer your question, companies don't realize how difficult it is they know how hard it is to get people, but when you're talking in the trades and manufacturing and some of the retail, how we are all looking for good people, but the good people may be a little embarrassed so they don't show up. Mm. And I just want to fill out an application and they can't. So employers can utilize the Literacy Council and help us. We can help them. We can advise them. We can, our resources, the people that work for Cheryl, they can help. Now, we're not going to teach them how to do their work, how to do their business, but they are professionals in instructing how to work with individuals who have learning issues.
Right.
That's where you can use us. That's how we can help the community even more than we do now. Mm-hmm. And it's companies knowing about us, they can reach out to us because they don't have that skill. They don't have that knowledge, but they do have the need.
Yeah.
So we can bridge the need and the education they need to start making themselves more effective for their employees and applicants.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could just add, Bill, to what Bill's saying, I think part of what I would wish for and hope for in our employer, community with our employer friends is recognizing that this is really a big deal. Like this is like a lot of people don't see it because you don't have an experience with it, or people are very good at masking, the struggles that they have. But, when you look at the data, there's a lot of people living in this community and you likely know somebody. And I think recognizing it and then providing the supports that people need. And I think setting your bias aside, because sometimes, people look at an adult who's struggling with some of those reading skills or didn't get a diploma, that it was like a personal failing. And, nobody sets out in life to fail. Nobody sets out in life to fail school. I mean, stuff happens to people. Things happen in the home that derail somebody. Like I think about a kid who's, parents have to move a lot and their parents are struggling. They're working, multiple jobs just to keep the household going. So there's a lot of pressures on families and, just recognizing that this could happen and that seeing people that we serve in our community as emerging workers, as people who would be worthy of the investment of just a little bit of skill building can get them ready to be really good employees and really successful in the workplace.
Yeah, that's great. Question that you mentioned, you have a lot of partnerships and collaborations with other organizations in the community. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about some of the ones that are most meaningful to your organization?
Yeah, sure. So I mentioned IU13 before. IU13 is our single most important partner. We work collaboratively on grants. We work collaboratively on providing a full menu of services for students, so we don't have to duplicate, but create complementary services, which makes community resources like more efficiently run. We partner with the U.S. and the Pennsylvania Departments of Education. They have been the backbone of adult and family literacy education since the 1960s, and that has always been grounded in workforce development. And then you can see like some of the other partners that we have in the community. They're both national and local. Pro Literacy is, a national organization that provides professional development. PACE is our statewide professional association. Locally, we partner with, foundations like the Steinman Foundation and others to help us with funding. We work with our workforce development boards in both Lancaster and Lebanon counties. We work with our chambers of commerce. We work with our libraries. We really try to do extreme partnering so that we can get the word out to the community and we can reach people who need the services, and then find ways to build efficiencies into the service delivery.
Very good. Very good. So for both of you, what would be that first step that local schools, other nonprofits that have good people that maybe they're just not connecting with because there's some literacy obstacles in between their volunteers and them, businesses, what would be that first step for them to utilize your reach and impact for their organization? We'll let Bill go first and then Cheryl.
Well, obviously, if you just type in literacy in Lancaster County or Lebanon County, we will come up. One of the things is their teachers, like Cheryl came from social work, their teachers all have a passion, and those teachers can assist us in helping their students. And again, just getting the word out to their educators that the education does not have to end at the end of this school day. because we have programs after hours. As a matter of fact, again, ours is adult education, but we have after hours programs where they can get their they can get educated in whatever that problem area is, whether it's reading, writing, technology. There we go. Thank you. It's just getting the word out. We could use volunteers. We could use, people that want to help other people. There are young people who want to help adults. That's also very helpful if they want to give back a little bit that way. So, Cheryl, I'll turn it over to you. You've been doing this for much longer than I have.
Sure, Bill. Yeah, I think one of the things that is really important that I don't think we said at all today is that every service at the Literacy and Learning Success Centers is free. There's no charge for anything. We provide the instructional programming. We provide all the textbooks and all the materials and supplies that students need. And I think, like Bill said, like if you're a community member, know about us, learn about us, and know that, referring people to us is really easy. Like all people have to do is go to our website. On our homepage, there's a place to say, hey, fill out this interest form. And then they get communication from us about scheduling an intake and orientation. They come in, they take an assessment, and that is how we place them in the most appropriate instructional setting. We have remote class options. We have, face-to-face options. We have individual tutoring, small group and large group. So it's very flexible. There's bound to be a program for anyone who's looking for support and building their basic skills, getting a high school diploma, getting some help with career pathways and, building their own career pathway.
Yeah, I would even say there's a lot of parents whose kids are a lot more educated than they are, just because they are going through the formal education process, and the kids know their mother, father have some kind of learning issue or something holding them back from getting employed, something maybe they're not confident about. So the kids would love to help their parents. And that's an area where if the educators knew that we existed, they could say to the kids, hey, I know a place your mom and dad can go to for whatever it is that they need help with. So that's I haven't really thought about that till just now. But just getting the word out and letting people know that we exist will help somebody they know, somebody they're related to.
So for somebody listening or watching who's moved by what you do and your mission there, what are some of the best ways that people can get involved? Obviously, we're talking about spreading awareness of who you are, what you do. We briefly touched on volunteers. Maybe you could expand
on math. We need math teachers.
Okay.
Cheryl, we were just having this discussion. I hate to interrupt you there, but that was my cue. We were just talking about that. The biggest need we have there's not enough educators teaching basic math skill. And Cheryl, can you explain what a basic math skill is that is considered illiterate? What do they consider literacy or illiterate for no?
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would use slightly different language, Bill. I would say that when we're looking at numeracy skills and we're thinking about the scope of what we would provide within our program, it would be any kind of math that you would take in high school, right? Like, anything from, basic arithmetic through algebra. And so that's the scope of the math that we're providing in our program to help people pass that high school equivalency test, but then also help people at work. Like in construction, we get a lot of folks that come in who need help with fractional numbers for measuring or, just things like that. If they're reading micrometers or they're reading, tape measures or whatever, some people really struggle with those, with measurement and fractional numbers. So those are the kind of, skills that we're looking for. And, like Bill said, we need volunteer teachers. volunteers are a really important part of our program. We have a grant from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to train volunteer teachers to work one-on-one with students. And we have a lot of students that really prefer to learn in a one-on-one or a small group setting. And that's done mainly through our volunteer corps. And so we provide training for them. We provide all kinds of support for them. But we're always looking for volunteer teachers and even people who want to teach digital literacy. You know, we have one digital literacy coordinator and we have a staff member, but boy, they could sure use some help right now. They could use some help either like in the, in the computer lab or even taking on a couple of extra workshops just to expand our capacity and help us reach all the people that are seeking these services, because the funding level that we get is seriously mismatched between what the need in the community is. So our limitation is, how much funding we have and what we can do with that funding to meet the need in the community.
Are you part of the Extra Give that's coming up in a month or less?
We absolutely are indeed. And that will be our first fundraiser of this fiscal year. That's November 21st. We've been participating in that since the very beginning. And many of you may have heard that there is a budget impasse in Pennsylvania. So when there's no budget in Pennsylvania, there's no funding. And more than half of the funding that we receive to run our programs and services is a combination of federal and state funding. So our funding is frozen. We're not getting any money from the Commonwealth right now until that budget passes. So I would say this year's Extra Give is not important. It's like essential. And, with this ongoing impasse and funding being frozen, we could end up having to make, some tough decisions in the coming months. Will we have to reduce services? Will we have to, pull back on some things? And we certainly hope it doesn't come to that. We have levers to pull. But what the Extra Give will do for us this year is it will help us keep our classes running. It will help support our volunteer tutors and their ongoing, need for technical support from our staff. It'll continue to provide those free resources to the students and help us advocate for them on an ongoing basis. So every dollar that we raise through the Extra Give, we invest directly into the programs and services that support our learners in the community.
Yeah. So Extra Give, extra important this year.
Extra important.
Yeah, this has been a struggle with the budget impasse. We are blessed that in prior years we were able to save and do what was necessary, and we have supporters, private foundations and such. But this year's tough. We need everyone's help.
Yeah. Well, and it would be, I think it's wise to say it's likely not just your work, but everybody's work that supports the community that relies on funding. Extra Give's important. So if you connect to what Cheryl and Bill are doing through the Literacy and Learning Success Centers, donate now, right? You can go to their website. All links are in the show notes below, and you can just donate now. You don't have to wait till November 21st. If you as you were talking, Cheryl, about your math teachers specifically, it pinged on a theme we talk about often here about time, talent, and treasure. And so if you have that time and those talents as a math teacher in this example, again, reach out, links with the show notes below, and hit the website and connect and see how you can give back some of that time and use your talents to benefit Literacy and Learning Success Centers would be very helpful, I'm sure.
Retirees. We have a board member who is an attorney who's retired, and she's phenomenal. She has the time, she has the drive, she has, she's everything you want in a volunteer because she's so passionate. And she wants to go help people. Just bring other people to help.
Right.
So.
And if you're worried about having to drive somewhere, we have remote options for volunteers, so they can work with students from their home. Yeah, so it's really nice. It's
kind of like this.
Exactly, just like this.
Just like this.
kind of like this. So you said the Extra Give kicks off your first event of the fiscal year. So setting aside the budget impasse, because I'm sure we'll get that at some point here soon, hopefully. But what does the next year hold for you, projects wise? What are the needs you have you really want the community to know about as we wrap up our time today?
Yeah, we're really excited about an investment we made last year in Canvas as a learning management system for our program. So that is really going to tie our teachers all together, having this one place for students where they're going to go to take their online classes or they can go to get their homework. It's brand new for us, and we're building that program as we go. We recently received a grant from the Lancaster County Community Foundation to build asynchronous classes for high school equivalency preparation. So students don't have to be held to a rigid time. They can go when they come home from work, if it's 11 o'clock at night or it's, 6 o'clock in the morning, whatever's convenient for them. We want to remove as many barriers as possible. And this investment is really going to help us build the highest quality asynchronous and synchronous remote classes for our students, but also give our teachers in the classroom new resources that they didn't have before. So we're excited about it. We're learning about it. I think, this year with the state budget impasse, donations for books is huge because we buy books for students and they keep those books, and it's tough this year. So, textbooks, funding for that is super helpful. But I think we're really looking forward to, navigating our way through this tough time and looking at how, policies at the state and federal level will impact adult literacy and strengthening our program around, the new direction that things will be taking around, a stronger focus on workforce education and workforce development, continuing down that pathway and, building out a strong volunteer corps. Because we had a much stronger volunteer corps before the pandemic. And then it was a little harder for people to volunteer. So now we're just trying to bring our volunteers back and they're coming back and the numbers are growing. They're going in the right direction.
That's great to hear. I got to imagine the virtual opportunity is making an impact there, because time can be a challenge for a lot of people who want to donate their time or have the talent to do so, but maybe time is a challenge. So having a virtual option makes a ton of sense there.
Your video guy's doing a great job, by the way. He's throwing it in right in real time. I'm loving it.
He's all right for a Michigan fan, right, Bill?
Well, yeah. Well, they learned something, I guess. But I got to be careful what I say here. There's a lot of
we got to watch. Yeah, he's got control over the screen. Right. And put whatever he wants up there. So we got to keep Chris.
He's going to put a little pig face or ears on me or something if I'm not careful. He's that
might
good.
have the Michigan fight song here.
Right. Cheryl and Bill, this was fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being on. You're both doing amazing work. The whole team there at the Literacy Council of Lancaster, Lebanon, and of course, Literacy and Learning Success Centers. Thanks for coming on Lancaster Connects and sharing what you all do there.
Thank you for inviting us today.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Really glad you could get us in and give us a second to talk to people.
Yep.
Yeah, you're welcome. You
got a few more minutes with us?
Sure.
All right. We could do our connection cocktail. Just a few questions to get to know our guests a little bit better. We're kind of reaching the top of the hour here, so we'll have to kind of rapid fire here. So I'll kick it off. Cheryl, do you have a favorite book, a podcast, a TV show? What are you enjoying right now?
Yeah, right now I'm totally hooked on Only Murders in the Building. I've been a big fan of that show, and this new season is just amazingly fun.
So my wife and I are caught up through episode 1 of this past, or the most recent season. So don't spoil it for me. All right, yeah, great show. Martin Short and Steve Martin. Great.
I've been wanting to see that.
Yeah, it's weird and wacky and wild, but very, very funny and comedic. So, hey, Bill, same question. Book, podcast, TV show, what do you like right now?
I'm a big podcaster, and I'm listening to Diary of a CEO.
Oh.
And he's a former CEO, British guy. He has the most amazing Diary of a CEO. You think in business. It's not business. it's across the board. If you know who Oz Perlman is, he's a very famous mentalist.
Yeah.
But he's talking about how he communicate. How does he do what he does? Oh, there we go. Yeah, the diet, and there's so many great people. There's things on health. There's things on how to communicate. There's things. So I'm hooked on that one right now. One of many.
Check that one out for sure. All right, back to you, Cheryl. Favorite? I'm sorry, not favorite. What would be your dream vacation?
I know this is going to sound so weird, but it would be a staycation at my house in my backyard with literally nothing to do. No chores, no gardening, no laundry, nothing. Just enjoying my home.
Peace and quiet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Without any pressure. Love it. How about you, Bill?
Oh, man, there's so many. I'm heading to Hawaii next week. Never been to Hawaii. Oh. Any place is wide open space. Montana, Germany, it could be China, wide open spaces. That really Alaska. Those are the kind of places I love.
Need somebody to watch Harley while you're gone?
Exactly.
All right. Last question. We'll wrap up our connection cocktail here. Favorite local spot in Lancaster? Coffee shop, restaurant, park? Cheryl, sounds like it might be your backyard.
I think it's my backyard because I am a homebody for sure.
Awesome. Well, maybe
we'll come over.
Yeah,
maybe we'll come over.
Bill, same thing. Same question.
You know, I live in Manheim Township. I just go to Landis Woods.
I was there yesterday.
It's such a little gem. You're in the woods. You don't know you're surrounded. It's like being in Central Park in New York. You don't realize you're surrounded by things, and you just walk the trails or whatever. You run the trails, bike the trail, and you could in a half hour you're done. You got your fix.
Yep.
So that's my little.
Yeah, with the 50,000 watts of star power that the Lancaster Connects TV show has. Really, like you ruined the little secret retreat of
there'll be like so many people there.
All of
that's probably it. Yeah,
on it after they've volunteered and donated and helped out with the extra give and made all the connections for the literacy and learning success centers. So, thank you both for taking your time to be with us. Please do those listening and watching, literacysuccess.org. Check out everything. All the wonderful work that Cheryl is leading there. Be sure to hit that donate button. If you got a few extra bucks each month you can give, they would really appreciate it. It'll go to work right here in our community to help people learn, build a great foundation for success in their future. Cheryl and Bill, thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thank you.
This is a pleasure. So much fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great afternoon. All right.
Yeah, very good. I like those kinds of people that help people helping people. I like it.
And it's awesome to see
the foundational stuff I really like.
Yeah, we say this all the time, organizations connected to other organizations helping those in need in our community. We see it all the time on the show.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Maybe on December 23rd, we'll have the Human Fund on the show.
Human Fund.
You have to be really tuned into our humor to get that one.
People helping people.
It's not hard, but it might go right over the head of some.
Chris got it.
Yeah. But what doesn't go over the head of everybody else is sleeping better. And that's my sleep better tip for you this week is, sleep really is a foundation. And I kind of joked, I was with some buddies this weekend at one of our friends' cabin, and there might have been some cigars and some bourbon and some late nights. And boy, I'm telling you, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it this week. When your sleep schedule goes off, that foundation of sleep disappears. And really the benefit of sleep, and we know this today, I'm wearing an Oura ring. You can kind of see it here. I'm pointing it out. There's all kinds of tracking that you can have to improve your sleep. There's health apps right in your phone when you get your new phone even. We have them in our adjustable bed bases that do wonderful things. But there's all these tools, and all these tools point back to turning back your metabolic clock. We're really at a point in time where we are winding back the hands of time. We're not just going to do it next Saturday night or Sunday morning at 2 a.m. We can do it every day with our health and our well-being, and sleep is the foundational mechanism that supports all of that. It is that important. And so we're at this moment in time where longevity is something I think most of us are looking at. We want to be healthy. We need to be healthy. Being healthy lives to a better life, a more exciting life of opportunity and happiness. And sleep is that foundational part, just like literacy and being able to read and speak and fill out applications and elevate yourself in your career through learning and literacy. Sleep is that thing that really powers everything else about your health. And turning back the hands of time, the metabolic clock, it's a big benefit of sleep. And you'll feel that one each and every day, even though for the 8 hours when you sleep, you're kind of like zonked out of it. It's doing wonders for your life. So that's my sleep better tip. We'll get you more tips like that with our Sleep Better book. Go to gardenersmattressofmore.com/sleep-better. We'll mail you a free copy of that book today.
Love it. Love it. Testimonial time here at Gardener's Mattress and More. We got a Google review that came in within the last week from a customer of ours named Marty. He had a wonderful experience with Chad at Gardeners. Chad was very helpful in explaining the various features of platforms and mattresses. Would highly recommend gardeners for your mattress needs. So platforms, we get a question, or I should say one of the most common questions we get is, can I keep my old box spring? Because you sleep on a mattress, but you don't necessarily think about the box spring. It might look like it's physically okay, but any old box spring that you've had for any period of time has wear and tear with it. Just kind of like you might not think of the tires on your car. They need to be replaced. Box springs need to be replaced as well. And it sounds like Marty had some questions. Chad worked him through the options. Platforms could be a wood foundation, which creates a solid platform or surface for your mattress. Could be a power adjustable bed base to put your body in a more comfortable position to sleep, read, circulation. A lot of sleep needs can be improved or corrected by an adjustable bed base. And there's other types of platform beds as well, stylish and functional solid platforms. So thank you, Marty, for your testimonial on Google, and thank you for your business. And
and one last reward for all of our listeners, watchers, making it through the end. We have our Gardener's Mattress and More wheel of spins and discounts, a special discount just for our podcast, TV show watchers and listeners only. We might be surprising Chris on that one.
He's scrambling.
He's scrambling. We're not really surprising. We just didn't weave it in just yet. But there we go. He's got our back always. So this is a gift for you, for those only who watch our show. We're going to spin the wheel, and that will be this week's special discount from right now through 2 p.m. next Monday, November 3rd, which is, it's wild to say we're in November, but it's going to be, it's going to be ho, 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 Christmas soon. And our discount to you this week is that a free, hey, how appropriate, right? To the testimonial that you gave, a free bed frame with your mattress set purchase. That's $129 value. So just mention that. We'll let our team know that was the special this week. And because they're busy out there helping other customers right now. But we'll let them know that the podcast TV show only special for those who watch and listen all the way through is a free bed frame with a mattress, any mattress set purchase. That's $129 value. All right.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. We're on overtime. Great show as always. Thank you to Chris Stone and his wonderful production at Cast Ahead. If you need any kind of remote broadcast production, like Cheryl said, they have a lot of remote learning, and Chris is adept at helping remote learning happen just in this format that we're engaging with you. So please, if you have a need for any kind of production like this, connect with us. His contact information is in the show notes below, and he can maybe help out your organization, your school, your project, your company with this kind of great visual and audio production. So, yeah. And I saw the Human Fund up there. I was busy doing the
you were doing
stuff.
Actual,
I wasn't messing around like you two jokers.
Chris is just,
it's okay. Anyway, that's our show for the week. We'll see you next Monday at 2:00. We'll be either an hour ahead or behind. I forget which way we go, but we'll see you next Monday at 2:00. Clocks sort themselves out by
just trust your.
We'll see you then. Yeah, right. Yeah. See you then.